Hi, I'm Brie, the Creative Minds Coach, and today I'd like for you to picture something. Imagine yourself walking through an art gallery or listening to some inspiring music or reading some amazing literature or even just scrolling on social media. And you're in the middle of all of this, and all of a sudden you hear something or you see something amazing that stops you. You read a paragraph, something that stops you in your tracks. It's incredible work. Incredible. It's really inspiring. And then all of a sudden you feel strange. You feel inadequate. You feel self-doubt and judgment. And you're thinking stuff like, my art will never be good enough to be wherever this is, to share, be in here, wherever. It would take too much work and time to be that good. Or I'm not as talented as they are. And guess what? You, boom, have found yourself in the comparison trap. That's right. So many times we're just minding our own business, trying to do something to help us be inspired to create more and feel good. And then we find ourselves feeling even worse than when we started. What is that about? So today I want to talk a little bit about that. And then I want to teach you how, if you're in this, you can get out of it. All right. So here's the thing. You can practice this. So if you find yourself in this space where you are thinking some of those things, feeling some self-doubt, feeling like your art is like subpar or less than or inadequate in some way, I don't want to tell you that you shouldn't think like that. You can if you want to, but if you want to change it, here's what you can do to practice. Okay, first, number one, when you find yourself in that space, do not run away or dismiss your thoughts, because our immediate reaction is going to want to be to feel better, to turn it off, to run out of there. So many times this has happened to me in social media where I'm like, oh, I feel terrible. I got to turn it off. I want to tell you that if you want to practice this, you might reconsider doing that. So you can think to yourself, it's time to practice thinking on purpose, because this is the opportune time to practice getting out of it. So when you find yourself back in that space, feeling inadequate, self-doubt, judgment, all of that, you can learn to reframe your thoughts. All right, number two, be conscious of your thoughts. How in the world do you do that? You want to start becoming aware of some of those other thoughts that I discussed earlier. Okay, see if you can take a step back and watch yourself thinking these things. If you want extra help with this, you can click on the link in the description and join my creative circle. I have created a secret subscriber-only video this week that talks all about, it's a coaching secret. So it talks all about how you can learn to see and observe your thoughts more often. It's really short and it's well worth your time. Link in the description to join my creative circle. Okay, so you can think to yourself, what am I thinking right now? Am I feeling? Why am I feeling that way? What am I thinking? Am I thinking I'm not good enough? Okay, so that's all you want to do. Number one is don't run away. Number two is you want to just start to practice observing what you're thinking. All right, number three, now that you're maybe a little bit more open and in the frame of mind where you're starting to observe what you're thinking, you can ask yourself questions. Okay, so one of the thoughts that I posed earlier was it would take too much work and time to be that good. You can start asking yourself questions. Okay, is it true? Is that true? Maybe you have some creative epiphany and next year you're in a gallery. I don't know. But is that even true? And then even if it was, so what? Would you be willing to put in work and time? And maybe would you be willing to put in some work and maybe prove yourself wrong? Okay. All we want to do is start to question these unconscious, this is all coming from our subconscious. We just want to start questioning these unconscious thoughts and start poking holes in them so that our brains are like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Maybe this isn't even true, the thing that I'm thinking. Okay, number 4, decide what you want to think. What is it now that you've kind of like started to question yourself, you've seen your thoughts, you're questioning yourself, and now decide what you want to think on purpose, right? So something that I might want to think on purpose at this time is I want to discover what I love about this. You could ask yourself a question. How could enjoying this help me become a better artist? And this all has to be believable. Anything that you want to think on purpose has to absolutely be believable, because if we think some sort of like this, by thinking this is going to put me in the gallery next year, no, we want it needs to be believable, because our minds are still a little bit holding on to those other thoughts that we were thinking subconsciously and unconsciously that we're trying to uncover. I hope that makes sense. So number 1, don't run away. 2, start observing your own thoughts. 3, ask questions. And 4, decide what you want to think on purpose. The great news is that this takes practice. So every time you find yourself in this comparison trap, this is an opportunity for you to practice doing this. And you know what? Be patient with yourself as you learn this. That's all I have for you today. Go find some way to be inspired. You got this. Bye.